When a question asks for the main purpose of the text, it's just asking kind of like, what's the main idea? So don't get all caught up in main purpose, main idea. It's the same basic question. Read the thing, kind of get a dumb sense of what's going on, a dumb summary, and then hopefully one of the answers matches with that. But there are also ways we can analyze these choices to get even more specific detail. But don't worry about all the details. In 1154, Muhammad al-Idrisi completed a collection of maps of the lands known to medieval Arabic and European scholars. This collection was titled something I'm not going to pronounce, the Book of Roger, after the Norman king Roger II, who hired him to create it. To create the collection, al-Idrisi consulted Arabic and Greek maps and interviewed travelers about the lands they visited. He included these travelers' stories alongside the map illustrations. So my dumb summary here, what is this about? It's about the map thing, the maps in some way. So here, let's look at the choices. To discuss the benefits of studying map making? No, it's about this one particular set of maps. So maybe the benefit is that then you can make them, but this is about that one set, not about the process of making maps in total. To explain how travelers created maps, anytime you see words that we associate with questions in the answer choices, that's a good sign you can just turn the choice into a question. And if you can't answer that question by pointing to something in the passage, it's probably a bad answer. So in this case, how do travelers create maps? Can you point to something in this passage and answer this question? Well, it says that this guy created the maps, he named it after Roger, and it's about places he went. But it does not talk about the process of making a map. I don't know anything about how you draw the lines or space things out, right? That would be what it would mean to know how the travelers create maps. That's just not here, right? So turn it into a question. If you can't answer the question, it's not a good sign. That choice is probably wrong. C, to describe a collection of medieval maps and how it was created. So that seems better, right? Because even I still have this how. I don't love the how, but describe a collection of medieval maps, I like that part. So for now, I would look at D and just see if it's any better. I wouldn't worry too much about that part at the end that I don't love, but at least it's talking about like this collection of maps. D, to compare medieval Arabic and Greek map-making techniques. Well, compare them yourself, right? What's the difference? Can you tell me the difference between Arabic and Greek techniques? No, because he consulted those things, but he didn't, I don't know, he didn't really say what he did in each one, right? Like, I don't know what the difference is. So how do we compare them if we don't know the difference? So honestly, I was a little bothered by the end of choice C, but not enough to completely eliminate it. And then there's nothing better. But I could kind of answer this question now, because now instead of being about travelers creating maps generally, it's about this specific set of maps. How was this collection created? Well, to create the collection, he consulted other maps and interviewed travelers. So it's not about like the drawing of the maps, but at least I'm like, okay, this collection was created that way. But the reason that B is wrong is that's more general. We don't know if the same technique or the same process applies to other maps. And this is a very common SAT trap. I call this a small, big trap, right? We have a paragraph here that is about a very small, specific example. The Book of Roger, that one collection of maps, right? One thing, very narrow. But what the SAT is trying to do with choice B is blow it up and say, we're learning about all maps. We're learning about some big concept, but we're not allowed to do that. Just because we get one example of something doesn't mean that that example is a good example of everything else. We would need the passage to say that. So we just don't have that here. And that is a very common trap on a lot of types of SAT passage questions. So something to keep in mind that you'll probably see it again.